Okay, somebody join me. Please say who are you? Oh, two people already. Hello, hello. I think in like 3-4 minutes I'll start. So don't log off, please. Now I need to put the waltz. I want to put Tennessee Waltz for today by Eva Cassidy.
I was dancing with my dog to the Tennessee Waltz.
Okay. Aloha. Oh, yes.
I introduced her to my dog.
4 people, okay. Yeah, 3 more minutes and we'll start.
My sweetheart
I need to bring one more thing.
I remember the night and Tennessee Waltz. I know now just what I am lost. Yes, I lost the night they were playing.
We're gonna need this today when I'm explaining some footwork situation. Make sure you have your water. Well, today it's not gonna be very exhausting really. Today, oh, hi Lauren. Today it's not gonna be very demanding class. So you can switch this for gin and tonic or whatever is your drink of choice. Let's do some testing since we're starting in 2 more minutes. Please write for me, Lauren or Lisa. Oh, I know Lisa, I cannot right now, but is it too loud? Can you hear the rhythm? Can you hear the song? I don't know how loud it is. It's good. This is good. Okay. One more minute and we'll start. I just want to give a chance to whoever is running late to check back in. Definitely, I have a pro tip. Don't eat popcorn before teaching any class because it's very distracting. Okay, let's get started. Shut up, Emma Cassidy. Okay, so for a second you guys have to see my face and then we can go to Dorothy is here. For a second I'll talk to you and then we'll go to exercises for our footwork. So most of the time, and I know that this video also will be uploaded onto our YouTube, so hopefully if you forget any of the parts you can later check back in and watch it again. But with having said that, there's a lot of times that I see dancers that think they're such a just graceful, beautiful dancers, and well, waltz is a very common dance to perform. Certainly it's really nice to dance waltz. I miss dancing waltz, but unfortunately sometimes footwork doesn't go on the same level as the upper body performance. We feel like when we dance waltz we can stretch, we can expand our upper body. That's all good, but when you're dancing waltz in a dress that shows your footwork, it would be nice to not go out of promenade with the heel. So today we're really going to discuss three things: how to keep your legs together, how to close your feet. Seems very simple, but very often we go too rough with that. Then we'll go through exit out of promenade, and then we'll go into chasses. Okay, so maybe if we'll have enough time, and if I'm not hungry, we'll also cover steps like twinkle. Well, actually, we should start with twinkle and box. Okay, so footwork for waltz, right? It should be very simple. Let me bring the camera more forward. Okay, so you can see my feet hopefully. So footwork should be very simple for box step. When you go forward, you lead with the heel. So please make sure you don't do this, but you brush the floor and then you take a step. So this is number one very important thing. I want you to keep your heel, keep always your 2 feet on the floor. Never do this, right? That will kill your energy, or it will make you simply take a step that is too low, and then you can easily slip backwards, right? So take a step with your heel by brushing your heel. Now, also, I would like to add to this, do not flex your toes purposely. Try to rather keep your foot relaxed, right? So, very often you can see us, dance teachers, doing something like, why is the light not, focus doesn't change? Okay, well, you can see us doing something like this, right? That I pull my heel up, and I want you to just have your foot relaxed. So, just swing your foot like this. Don't worry about your toes. You don't have to go with the super high flex, right? So when you take your first step, you lead with the heel brushing onto the floor, right? Something changed with the contrast, and now it's not so bright anymore. Maybe I can do this. Oh, there we go. Now, you lead with the heel. Next step, so I'm going to rotate, right? We know already how you do the first step, heel brushes. Then you're going to roll on your foot. So, first question that I was asked on my teacher certification test back in Poland, funny stuff, was when do we rise and waltz? And you all should know that we rise and waltz at the end of 1. We don't rise and waltz on 2. That will be already too late. Then you will sort of catapult yourself up. So that starts with rolling on your foot. That's why we say we rise earlier. Okay, so you go heel to the ball, and then you go up on that foot. Right? So it's not like this, or it's not like this, or it's not like this. You're gonna roll on your foot a little bit, right? One more time. So take a step, roll on your foot up. Allow yourself to feel this pendulum action, right? Roll up and go back. Roll up and go back. Roll up and go back. Okay? It's not a super strong rise like this. You don't have to go to the top of your toes or even on point, right? Just a little bit. Allow yourself to do this. Now, our footwork starts with our leg action. So, as you can see, when I'm going forward with my left foot, my right knee lowers and pushes forward. So remember, we're not going down, we're going forward, right? Okay, so the first step is done. We go down, forward. Now, after we start rising a little bit on this foot, you're going to brush against the floor onto the inside edge of the foot, and you will start shifting your weight this way, climbing up even higher, and then you will close your feet. They are together, right? Oh, sorry. They are together like this. And now you start going down and preparing to go backwards. Now, one more time. We prepare the heel, roll up, carry on rising, close. Now, you don't have to, please don't tell me that this is closing, right? And also, you don't need to have your feet super lined up, super precisely together. As long as you feel like your ankles are together, you see my toes are slightly apart, that's okay, right? You're not going to be going with the ruler on any performance and checking if your feet are 2 inches apart or less, right? So anyways, heel, toes, side. Now remember, here you're slightly elevated. You continue going up, and now as you're going down, you prepare your foot to go backwards, right? So it's not going down on 2 heels, and then you go back, but as you're going back on your left foot, your right is already getting ready, right? So it's smooth falling action, right? As you can see, before I put my heel down, my right foot is already reaching back. All right, so let's try to do this first, okay? Heel, well, I'll do it from this angle. Heel first, roll up a little bit, continue climbing, close your feet, get down and prepare your foot. Why do I prepare my foot before I close my feet? If you do not prepare your foot, then you will fall onto the next step. I'll show you my whole body what happens if you don't stick out your foot. Okay, here we go. So if I do this, 1, 2, 3, and now I go down without preparing my foot. My next step, I'll fall back together. I want to get my foot ready. Now I can shift easier, okay? Going forward is much easier to learn, easier to remember than going backwards. That's one. Another thing is when you're going with the rising, make sure that you don't just focus on closing your feet. One very, very, very good teacher we love to take coachings with, Heather, was telling us another day, one of my lessons with her, about bringing your knees together, right? So when you take a side step, you're closing your thighs. I like to think like your thighs are like this hinge in a door, so it will always be driving you to close it, okay? So keep that in mind. Let's try this again. So you go at an angle. 1, roll up a little bit so it's not on the floor. Continue rising. 2, and now as you're going up on your right leg even more, keep bringing this. You see, now my feet are not precisely together, but I have a great control. So whenever you're, and that will be another thing, whenever we're in promenade position, or just up on your toes, in order to maintain your balance, you do not need to try to balance yourself out with your arms, like this, but, sorry, let me lower that. But the whole balance is here. So now I'm on my toes, on both feet, right? Obviously, it's easier if you eat a lot, then your stomach grows, your butt grows, you counterbalance yourself. But for most of us, the whole balance idea happens right here. So I keep squeezing my thighs. That's how I can stay up on my toes and stretching my spine up, right? So I have extension going up this way and then squeezing right here. Okay. So we covered going forward, right, into a box step. So we remember this, very important. Brush, side, and now don't lift your foot off the floor. So don't do this. 1, right? Brush, brush. This whole transition, you don't need to close your foot and then go to the side, but I want you to hear that brushing. And close. And the whole time you can hear me going Thank you. So the whole time you can hear me brushing my feet. Okay, now after we went backwards, you shift your weight, but right now I want to already feel a little bit elevated on my right foot. Continue going to the side, just like with the first side step. You're going to brush against the floor. Close your feet and get down, prepare your foot. So same trick like at first when you're going forward, when you go to the side, now prepare, right? So again, we're not gonna close our feet and go down, but you will close your feet, and as you're going down, prepare your free left foot. Okay, so that will conclude our basic step. I will suggest for you to try this with me a couple of times with music, just so we can get an idea how much you have to work in basic step, and then we'll go to twinkle. So we'll start with the left foot. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this song is pretty slow, but it still should give you an idea how much you have to work with your feet. Now, time for demonstration. So I prepared for you guys a flat surface and a shoe, right? The moment when you're closing your feet, imagine you're doing box step. You're going forward with your left, side step with your right, close, back with your right, side step with your left, close. And now as you're going forward, your left foot is on its toes at first, right? When you see this moment, 1, 2, 3, this foot is on its toes first, right? Because you're not gonna close your feet and immediately go down like this with this heel, right? So after you close your feet, you go down, your foot leads with its toes, then it switches to heel, right? So what exactly happens then? It's this smooth, super smooth transition that makes our waltz, well, seamless. So again, one of my teachers said to imagine that somebody pulls you by your knee cap, okay? So we'll get to that in a second. This is the dance floor. Your foot starts with toes. You keep brushing your toes until your heel touches the floor. Now there is no gap between your foot and the floor, and now you can carry on brushing the heel. So it's this, one more time, toes, flat, heel touches, then you brush, right? So there's no point, one more time, there's no point that you can lift your foot completely off the floor. Let's try this transition one more time. Okay, so you take a side step, you close, now brush and heel. Side step, whatever. And now you have to go with your toes, right? Up, and again, close, toes, heel, right? This is very important transition. And that will happen later in chasse as well. Okay, now we'll go into next step, into twinkle, where you even more have to be aware not just of your feet, but also of your knees. So let's start with twinkle going backwards. So you reach back, one, simple, right? Then we go to the side, and we change our direction to promenade. And same thing happens here in that transition, all right? Once more, let's try. So you go back with your right, you're going to the side step, close, rotate, and lead with your heel. Okay? I don't know if you guys can hear this right now, but Pasqui decided to vacuum, so I'll be right back. I'll just tell her not to use vacuum.
Awesome.
Okay, so go back with your toes, side step, close, and now lead with your toes and then heel. Okay? Remember what I said earlier? Imagine like somebody pulls you by your kneecap. So you're going back, side step, close, and now imagine somebody is pulling you right here. Right? That will make it a lot smoother. Hi, Ellen! So we're going back into twinkle, side, close, and push your foot against the floor. Right. Now, notice as we do this closure in twinkle, I want you to really focus on your thighs, okay? So we go back, side, close, and now I'm not just closing, I'm also rotating on this leg. So back, side, and now that rotating action happens, okay? Let's try it from close up. So I went back, side, and now whoop. See how I'm rotating in this step, right? If you want to see the rest of the body, it doesn't do all that much. Back, side step, rotate. Actually, if you see the rest of my upper body, it's important for you, as whoever follows, it's important for you to stay positive in promenade. So with your right side presented, right? So we're going back, side, and now as you close your feet, this arm or this side does not open too much. If you see me from the side, 1, 2, 3. It's just my base that rotates. That's another thing. I don't want you to always do this wherever your toes are. That's where your shoulders and face have to go. It's all kind of working in various directions. Okay? So once more, we're going to focus on rotating your thighs and your knees. 1, 2, 3, and get ready to go. Okay, so when you're working the most on beat number 2, okay? Let's try it. 1, and now here we go. 2, 3. It's almost like you bring yourself into that lane, right? Let me try this again. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And again, the same thing, heel, down, then you're rolling on your foot. All right, if you're leading in twinkle, it's very similar. You're taking a step forward with your left foot, 1, then you're going to the side with your right. So it's just like box step, except you rotate at the end, okay? So instead of going in a closed position, you finish in the promenade position, and that's it, okay? So same technique, you go forward, then you go to the side, and then you will rotate. And now your right heel is getting ready to go. Okay. Now, how to do chassés. So, let's just look at it first. Okay, I'm going to do chassé to do this way, and then I'll come back this way. So we start from promenade, and we go down, toe, heel, heel, roll, chassé on 2 toes, and then get down, bring it in. Okay? Now the other way, you're up on your toes, toe, heel, brush your heel, roll up, chassé, come down. Right. Now, seems easy, seems like everybody can do this, right? But I really want to urge you that when you're doing chassé, please do not lock your knees, because then it looks like somebody used on you the defibrillator, right? Like you got shocked. So very often when we watch smooth or standard dancers, we observe the top line. And you don't want to affect that top line by dancing something like 3, 1, 2, 3, right? That's very rough. So you want to maintain that smooth transition through your footwork and your knees, right? So again, we go from promenade, toe down, 1, 2, 3. I just realized you cannot see my footwork now. So how about now? Okay. We will start with this foot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And carry on, right? Don't stop over there. Now we're going the other way. So toes first, stand on your left leg and go with your toes. Then you come down, soften. Heel 1, 2, toes again, and then you come down. So 2 more important moments when you're doing your chassé. When you're going into the second step, 1, 2, 3. When you're going into fourth step, right? 3, 1. This we know what to do. Brush and roll on your toes. Now this is not on 100% of your toes, so you can still see that my knees are sort of flexed. So 2, I still have a little bit of room to improve my knees. I'm not on 100% hyperextended knees. Okay, once more. So we go out of promenade. Let's say we start with the inside promenade. 1, 2, push 3 and soften. Or this way, if you go with your left. 1, 2, and now push yourself like you want to do a little leap, right? Now, don't exaggerate with that leap, but that will basically travel a little bit more and still look smooth. Watch this one more time. Step number 1, 2, 3. Step number 4 will be the one I'm talking about, but it starts on 3, right? Starts on step number 3. So watch this. We'll go after twinkle. Let's say with the twinkle we did 1, 2, 3. Now we go 1, up, 2, up, and now this step. So from this leg, you're going to propel yourself this way, right? Oh. And when you're landing, and you can do it multiple times. You can do multiple chassés, right? So after chassé 2, now you go with your toes, and as you're bringing your heel down, you're going to bring your foot simultaneously, right? So it's not like this, and then you bring your foot in, or that you pass your foot. This is not forward moonwalking or some stuff like this, but I want you to bring it simultaneously, okay? Doesn't matter which side. So now after we did the 1, 2, 3, and then carry on, okay? So seems easy, but this makes your whole waltz super smooth, okay? So let's try to review everything what we did today so far. We learned how to do box step correctly with leading your heel, and that applies to so many more steps, not just the box step. You lead with your heel, rise, carry on, close, bring your knees together, and then prepare yourself as you're going down to go back, carry on, close, and again propel yourself forward. Remember, somebody pulls you by your kneecap, and your foot does the smooth transition. Yes? Then we go into twinkle. First, let's try to go backwards into twinkle. 1, 2, rotate, then get down, and again, heel goes first. And then when you're going forward, same thing. Sorry, I'll do it this way. 1, 2, rise, rotate, bring your knees together, and prepare yourself with step forward. Step number 3, chassé. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, and carry on. Or if we go from the following part, 1, 2, 3, heel, 1, 2, 3, and then you carry on. Okay, so these are the fundamentals for your waltz. It doesn't mean that other steps you'll do differently. It means that you'll use these basic skills to do other steps just the same. Now, in tango, we have this option when we're leaving from promenade that you're building up a little bit more resistance. But if you look in the like military grade cameras, slow motion at best dancers footwork, you will see exactly the same concept. So if we are into promenade position in tango, right, you have this foot slightly open, you're building more pressure onto this foot, you're shifting your weight this way. Now, in the slow motion, it's still the same thing, right? So my teachers used to put like a, box of chewing gums or box of cigarettes on the floor, and all we had to do is kick it with the heel, right? So after you take a step a little quicker, you kick it with your heel. Obviously, now, I'm not gonna make you kick box of cigarettes, but chewing gums are good. So, or your own phone, so you will not step on it, but you will just kick it along on the floor, right? So this is very similar case where you're building up pressure. So you can see you're building up, maybe this way. You're building up pressure against the floor. Hold on, okay. And then you're switching into the heel. But at no point your foot did this, right? Never ever leave the floor unless you dance in kicks and jive. Okay, that will conclude our. When you're doing all different variations of the basic steps, if you're doing more advanced steps, please always remember, super useful thing, do not worry about closing your feet, but worry about closing your knees. Okay? That will be the most important pointer. And today was a shorter class, but that's all I want to tell you guys. I hope that you'll have a chance to practice this by yourself at home. Even if you didn't catch this class live, don't you worry. You can always find it on YouTube later on. Sorry for a late start. We always try to give you a head start, so nobody is too late. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until it's over and then watch it, right? Song that I was using today is from Eva Cassidy, Tennessee Waltz. You can see it on the reverse. Well, pull up the mirror to the screen and then you can see. It's Eva Cassidy, Tennessee Waltz. Beautiful, beautiful song. Thank you for joining me today. Stay safe. Soon we'll be going back on the dance floor. Finally, things are hopefully improving, and cook at home, eat good food, and practice. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Yeah.